All right. Hello. Welcome to this Meet the Candidates conversation with DJ McCabe. He is with McCabe Restoration and Endurant Disaster Recovery. This is one of three Meet the Candidate interviews for the RIA Board of Directors slate. So we encourage you to watch all of the interviews, please, and get to know each of them and what they bring to the table. Our goal is for each of them to be 10 minutes or less. We're going to do our best here. Again, there are three candidates in total for this year's election and one open seat on the RIA Board of Directors. The ballots will be emailed directly to RIA members on March 16th. You do have to be an RIA member to be eligible to vote. The election results will be announced at the RIA Convention April 27th through 29th in Savannah. If you're not registered, restorationindustry.org. Don't miss out. It's going to sell out. Be there, be square. All right, here we go, DJ. Okay, so first question, why do you want to serve on the RIA's board of directors?
Well, Michelle, first, thanks for taking the time with me today. Why do I want to serve? So I've spent my entire career in the restoration industry, straight out of college into this, and it's given me so many opportunities to build a business, support, a lot of great people and their families, and then, serve our customers when they're going through some of the toughest situations that they're ever going to face in their life. And at this point in my career, I kind of feel like it's a responsibility to give back to an industry that has given me so much. Over the last several years, my role has really evolved to where I spent most of my career in life operating at kind of the local level market, building, running a restoration company day to day, just basically doing everything. And more recently, have started to transition into helping build a multi-market platform across several regions. So that shift has kind of given me and opened my eyes to a broader view of the industry. I still see the day-to-day challenges that contractors deal with in the field, but also am now able to see a lot clearer the larger forces that are really shaping the restoration industry right now, whether it's consolidation, the insurance dynamics, technology, and just the complexity of running a restoration business. And I think RIA plays just a critical role in helping guide the industry through that evolution, while continuing to represent the best interest of the restorer as well. And, I just really excited and welcome the opportunity to bring both kind of the operator perspective and then that broader industry view to the board and help strengthen that organization moving into the future. So.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so question two is a two-parter. You kind of already answered part one, but I'm going to ask anyway. What do you think is keeping restorers up at night?
We only got 10 minutes for this.
I know and it also changes,
uh,
but go ahead.
well, and I say that because there's so many different, they're feeling pressure from so many different directions at once. You know, the one of the biggest challenges, I think, the kind of evolving relationship with insurance carriers. Contractors dealing with kind of increased scrutiny over scope, pricing, documentation, and then at the same time having operating costs, labor costs, material costs, and equipment continue to rise. And then that dynamic creates real pressure on margins and cash flow, which I think is one of the main things that keeps a lot of us up in the middle of the night. I think another thing, and something that I've been dealing with lately, is talent. I mean, restoration's a skilled trade. You got to have strong technicians, project managers, estimators, and all the way up through the leadership and management. And I think that we are kind of an older industry, and I think helping to shape bringing in that next generation of leaders within a company, like how does my company evolve? We cannot just keep with the same people. So building leaders and people. And then I think just the overall complexity of running a restoration company today, compliance, estimating platforms, technologies, documentation, customer expectations, and just the operational demands have grown significantly over the last, since I've started, 2 decades.
Okay, so part 2B, what do you think the RIA could be doing to help alleviate some of those pain points? There were a lot of pain points there, but
There's a lot of pain points, so let's just try to tackle the kind of the main ones.
yeah.
So, with insurance, I think RIA can play a meaningful role in all those areas, but I think first, RIA being the strong, united, and credible voice for the professional restorer when it comes to the advocacy and industry representation. My involvement with the RIA Carrier Relations Task Force has really opened my eyes to what the collective voice of this organization can accomplish when we come together. When we come together through RIA, we have the ability to engage constructively with the carriers and help to shape that conversation that affects the whole industry, as opposed to being the individual operator trying to battle the large insurance companies. And then going back to the talent, so I mean, education and leadership development. Restoration companies, like I said, they need the strong techs, estimators, project managers, management, and then that whole next generation of leaders who understand the operational and business side of this industry. And I think RIA, through continued investment in training and leadership development through RIA, could help strengthen restorers and contractors across the board. And then going back to the carrier relations task force work, I think that what RIA really does well is to elevate the professional standards of our industry. The work that we've done on the task force around the RIA Code of Ethics, which, is going to be rolling out at the convention. So I encourage everyone to attend to get a glimpse at that. I'm really excited about the work they've done there and we've done. But I think if we continue to help reinforce that level of professionalism, transparency, and accountability that defines, who the best restoration companies are, and that as those standards become stronger, our reputation in the industry becomes stronger. And I think RIA can do a whole lot in helping to shape that moving forward.
Yes. Okay, perfect. All right. Question number 3. They get a little easier now. What
Okay.
do you love most about
Good.
our industry?
What do I love most about the restoration industry? So I think there's two words that come to mind, and I think restoration sits right in that perfect intersection of service and entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
On the service side, restoration companies, we're called in to deal with some of the most difficult moments a homeowner or business owner is ever going to face. And when someone has water running through their home or their building's on fire, it's so stressful and emotional. We step in quickly, bring order to the chaos, help them begin the process of putting things back together, and being able to provide that kind of support in those moments, I think is pretty meaningful work for everyone in this industry. And I think everyone feels that. And then on the entrepreneurship side, I think anyone that's listening to this, it's a business owner or running a business, they have that entrepreneurial spirit, and it's created so many. This industry has so many opportunities for people who are willing to work hard and take ownership. And I think a lot of the companies here. I mean, I started McCabe working out of my old bedroom in my parents' house 23 years ago, right? And I think a lot of people, they started with a truck and some equipment and a willingness to outwork everyone else. And then over time, they built businesses and employed dozens, hundreds, even thousands of people and serve entire communities. So, the ability to start small and build something meaningful while creating opportunities for others is, I think, something that makes this industry really special. And then also, and you see this at the convention, I think the people in restoration are just exceptional. Like, they're just such a great group of operators and problem solvers who care deeply about their team and their customers and the communities they serve. And it's a hardworking industry, and it's just a privilege to really be a part of it.
Perfect. All right. We have like 2 minutes left, so open mic. This is the last question. You have anything else that you want to share before we wrap it up?
One thing I didn't touch on in one of the first questions is, I think the restoration industry has been in and is entering still a significant period of change. You're seeing consolidation across the industry, new capital entering the space. Technology is completely reshaping, and all those things are completely reshaping how companies have to operate. New tools powered by data and AI are influencing everything from estimating, documentation, project management, customer communication, and those things are only going to accelerate. I mean, you just don't have to. You can turn the news on and just see how quickly that those tools and technology are changing. But at the same time, the core of what makes this industry so special hasn't really changed. It's built on service, trust, and people who are willing to step up and help when customers are going through a very difficult time. And then I think that, the companies that are willing to adapt to all of those other changes I spoke about just now, and then still maintain that service mindset, those are the ones that are going to thrive moving forward. And, as it continues to evolve, I think RA is going to play an increasingly important role in helping guide that progress while also protecting that service and professionalism and values that define the best of us in this restoration industry. So I'm really excited about where this industry is moving, and it'd be an honor to help RIA play a significant role in shaping that moving forward into the future.
Great. All right. Thank you, DJ. And good luck in the election. It's, tough when there's only one seat. That's rare. When I was involved in this last year, I think that there were 5 seats available. So that's interesting this year that there's one. But anyway, thank you to everybody who is listening. Please be sure to watch all the Meet the Candidate interviews. You can find them all on CNR's YouTube channel. There's a Meet the Candidate playlist. You can find them all there. Please take a listen and make sure to vote when you get your ballot. And DJ, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone.